So the favorites. Who's looking strong right now? Oh god, I already hate this. Like, let's just try to, like, we'll just put up things here first. FaZe looks shaky at best. They still got their wins though, but they look really shaky. They look really shaky. They could like, this should be theirs, right? Major, complete the major, get the grand slam, absolutely just secure the bag for FaZe. This is like the biggest event they could ever have. Could honestly be their downfall though. You're not only playing for a major, you're playing for the grand slam. I think Navi has to be up here. Navi also looks not, it doesn't look like last major where it just looks like it's gonna be FaZe and Navi. They should still be the favorites. I'm never gonna doubt Simple, and I think, like, I'm not gonna doubt Simple. I'm just not. I think this whole favorites category is just trash because these teams are the favorites, but I really feel like the margin of error between every single team right now is just so small. It's absurd. It just takes one bad day for one of these teams to get knocked out. I think I'll probably get a lot of for it, but with how Pro League just shaped up and how they looked, I really am scared, but I'm gonna put Liquid up here as well. It scares the living out of me as a North American fan because I can't tell if I'm delusional. I very well might be, but I think they've looked really good and they got to Pro League playoffs. Yeah, they look good, but also I think what actually made me feel a little bit better is Ykinder looked like absolute, like, dude, he was rough yesterday. And for those of you watching the video, we're talking about the legend spot for the major where they played EG, and Ykinder was pretty much missing until the very end of the game, and Liquid still managed to win. So yeah, also Ykinder is sick, so I mean, I imagine with a few weeks he'll probably be a little bit healthier, and they have the legend spot. They'll have a lot more time to prep. And if I feel like Liquid looked bad when they came back to the US because we suck. So when they came back here, they kind of chilled for a bit. Oh shit, I gotta mute that. Hold on. Thank you, boo boo. The chat's calling me delusional for fucking not having the goddamn, or for having Liquid up here, but y'all are delusional for not thinking I'd put them up there. If you have more teams in favor, well, maybe that's a good point. I actually think that's a good distinction. Maybe we'll put Liquid at playoffs, and then I'm gonna also bring Vitality to playoffs. I really think that these teams are like, these teams all feel like a coin flip and they could beat each other on any day. I think making the distinction here is good because I think Liquid and Vitality both look great, and Pro League showed that, and the finals that we got between these two were fantastic, and FaZe and Navi both showed that they were weak, right, and they weren't able to make it all the way through. That being said, this is the major, and you have the likes of, like, the entire FaZe roster. You have Simple, Electronic, like with Navi. I just feel like they're gonna bring their A game to the point where, like, you give them a slight edge. The bigger the moment, you give them a slight edge. Yeah, I think this is a good distinction to make. But I do think that Liquid is a very heavy favorite in pretty much every matchup that they're going to have. Same for Vitality. They had a little hiccup there versus, I believe, Heroic, and they did not make the legend spot. So they're a little bit further down. But ZywOo just looks absurd. They have crazy experience and major winning experience. I'm excited to see how Spinks does too, because they're going to have more time to get better. Right, like Vitality just added Spinks and they already look strong. Now you're gonna have, I think for them, since they're not legends, it'll just be a couple weeks to prepare. So I'm trying to think who else would be in here. I think the next logical choice is C9. Yeah, I think C9 is a very dangerous team. I think they do have a tendency to go missing as the moment gets bigger, but I could see them making playoffs pretty confidently. 8 teams in playoffs. What are we thinking now? Oof. Oh shit. This is fucking tough, man. This is tough. Wait, why do we call this Legends again? Oh, will they like make it to Legends or not make it to fuck, we got to rename this category. We'll just put grouped, and what I mean by grouped, and we'll go back to it, is they just literally don't make it past whatever group that team is in. So if they're in Challenger, they don't make it out. If they're in Legends, they don't make it to playoffs. Let's see. So, oh man, I'm gonna get a lot of shade. Fuck. I think 0-0 got pretty lucky that they had to play Complexity. I'm really happy that they're gonna be there because it's fucking Taco and Cold Zero. But I do feel like them getting Complexity, not that Complexity is a bad team. I think Complexity, I had them going through, but what became more and more apparent as Complexity was playing, they just lacked the experience. They just lacked the experience. They lacked like Complexity just didn't have what it takes in the tank yet. Like they haven't had enough of those situations. 0-0 is a good team. 0-0 on paper has really strong individuals, but I actually think it's the other way around. I think 0-0 Nation has good players, but they're not a good team. When I watch 0-0 Nation play, I see individuals having strong performances that carry them across the finish line, and that is enough sometimes, but I don't feel like they're actually the strongest team. And when you have strong individuals, that's great, but at this stage, when you're in the major, when you're going to be playing against some of these other teams, I think they're going to really struggle. 9Z also I'm going to throw there because 9Z literally played ATK to qualify and just stomped them out. I don't know, I could maybe put them here. I just did not see enough of 9Z to like, I do not, there's always teams that get like easier paths, and there's nothing wrong with that, but I haven't seen like the only thing that was very impressive to me about 9Z was their 2 BO1 comebacks, but those are BO1s. Those are BO1s, and I mean we'll have BO1s again, so you never really know, I guess. But anyway, yeah, I wasn't really impressed with necessarily their run. Not their own fault, really. Like they can't pick who they play. But I just don't know how I feel about them, and I just have a feeling they're gonna struggle. I don't know. I'm gonna actually come back to big. I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna throw B&E in upset potential. I feel like B&E is, yeah, they're the perfect upset team. We've seen it time and time again. I haven't seen anything from B&E that makes me feel like they're going to go toe to toe and like really take the step to playoffs necessarily, but they're good, dude. They're really good. Like they're really good. Their map pool is just really weak when they get into these matchups. So the BO1s favor them a lot. It makes them dangerous to upset the bigger teams in BO1s, but they struggle when they get to the BO3 stage just because their map pool is weak. Not that they haven't improved, but they're just, I think the whole level of Counter-Strike has improved. That's why it's so much closer. And I think that B&E is a product of that, in that they have improved with the rest of the scene, but they're also still kind of where they were at before, which is their map pool is still a bit weaker, and they're really strong if you get the right maps against them, but the better teams with larger map pools can kind of expose them a little bit. I also think that they have like the double-edged sword of how emotional they get in the games is really good, but doing that for every single game, if you're on the fringe of making like the next stage of whatever you're playing in, it can really wear on you, and that you can sometimes fall short. EG, this is, I will concede, is NA copium. But I think anybody that's been watching the games with me has seen a real steady progression of EG to the point where I actually think they're dangerous. I think they're dangerous. It's scary if you're playing against them because you don't have that much of, you just don't know what they're good at. Like, right, like yesterday we saw EG and Liquid play for the final legend spot. Liquid tried to punish pick Ancient, and Liquid is honestly 50-50 on Ancient. Their T side is something to be desired, and it revolves entirely way too much around Ykinder getting cave control for them to be good on the entire map. EG had one like best of 3 or one match on Ancient recorded at all on HLTV, and they looked good. they looked very good for not having any match reps. So the EG has two things going for them. I don't really think they're going to make playoffs, but the two things they have going for them are, one, people do not know what they're playing. People do not know what they're playing. They're not going to have a lot of demos on this roster. They're not going to be able to extremely prep really hard, and they could maybe potentially shock some of the bigger teams. The second thing is, I think they're finally starting to believe in what they're doing again, and Breeze and Cirque, I can't believe I'm saying it, but both, like, Breeze has been looking definitely a lot better, and Cirque is still a little hit or miss, but he's hitting way more than he's missing right now. So I don't know, you could put EG in grouped. I just think that I like to have them in upset, just because I think they're gonna get a win that most of us think they shouldn't somewhere. Let's see, ENCE grouped. I think they're just in a really weak spot right now. I think they're still trying to find their identity. Funny enough, some Pyjamas looks really individually strong. Some Pyjamas looks really strong, but something with ENCE just looks off, man. EG above ENCE, these aren't really one above the other. Like, you could literally do this. You guys are reading too, you guys are riding it too hard. You guys are riding it too hard. Grouped is, I just don't think you're really gonna break script. Upset means I don't really necessarily think you're gonna make playoffs, right? But you're gonna probably beat somebody or do something that we're not expecting you to do. I don't expect ENCE to really do anything out of the ordinary. I think they're gonna have a rough major unless something changes in this time going into it. Snappy's a really good IGL, but I don't know, man. They didn't look good. They did not look good. People watch tier lists for absolute standings? No, they don't. And if they do, this isn't absolute standings. We would be doing pick'ems for that. I got fucking Rule Andes over here for tier list. This is how you do the tier list, streamer. My tier list. Ooh, Fnatic. What do I think about Fnatic? I don't see them making playoffs. They are dangerous though. Something just seems missing with that team though. It's odd. They were looking really good, but something just seems like, I don't know what it is. Just like a little something. Like they're really good when they're firing, dude. That roster looks fucking nuts. I don't think Fnatic makes playoffs, but I do think that they could be. They, like, if they did, they would, like, you know, kind of sneak their way in. I think that's good. I think Fnatic, in the right circumstances, in the right games, is like right there, close to playoffs, but they're not, and they might get some upsets, but I don't know. They're gonna make it difficult. Like, wherever they're at, they're not gonna be a free win. You know, wherever they're at in the tournament, it's just gonna be, they're gonna be really hard to deal with. All right, FURIA. They better be in the fucking playoffs. They better be. I don't know. They look shaky, boys. They look shaky. They look shaky, but like, we need them in the playoffs. All right, we need FURIA in the playoffs. God damn it. we fucking need them, dude. They're Brazil's best shot to have a Brazilian team in the playoffs. They fuck, man. I hate FURIA because they're so good, and then there's other days where you're just like, what happened? What happened to you? Like, what are you doing? Like, I guess it's just because the art effect. Last time, you know, FURIA did make playoffs, and they were kind of in a similar situation, I feel, to like right now. I think the one benefit that people are forgetting is every stage of this major is going to have a crowd, and that's why I'm almost more inclined to throw like 0-0 Nation and upset. Not because like there is going to be a crowd for every stage of it. Now, it's not going to be a huge crowd for the entire thing, but I think that could really help, you know, the Brazilian and the South American teams in general. GamerLegion. I'm not gonna put happy to be here because they fucking earned it, bro. I don't really know if they're maybe they belong there. I'm gonna wait, actually. gonna wait. Grayhound, I'm sorry, boys. I'm sorry. Don't hate me. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna say I'm sorry. I think you guys are gonna have a tough time. Let's take Heroic. Ooh, they're definitely not favorites. They're not really upset potential because they're good, and they got a legend spot. So I think I gotta put them playoffs. I think they finally got a win where I'm like, damn. Finally, does Yabby in this roster like just finally? You know what I mean? Like everybody knew that roster move, like, while it was sad to see Refresh go, you know, if they had to make a change somewhere, and if they were gonna do it, this was like the little step up. It seems like maybe it finally clicked and it all kind of came together, and we'll see though. We'll see. You know, a couple wins here and there aren't enough to really give me real confidence in that feeling, but they look good. They did. IHC, I would be lying. I did not watch their run here, but to my understanding, the roster has not changed much, and I was actually impressed with their level of Counter-Strike last time I watched them play. I almost want to throw them an upset, but like almost like over here. Like they're literally probably gonna they'll get grouped, but they're gonna beat somebody and piss somebody off. Like, this is where I want them to be, is upset, but they will get grouped. I might move IHC later. Just remove favorites and put Imperial there. Stop. This is where Imperial deserves to be, is right here. Imperial barely made it into the major, just like last time, and I picked Imperial to not make it through each stage that they played last major. But what I learned, and why I put Imperial here, is basically every time these teams have to play Imperial, what ends up happening is this: it's like a script, man. Imperial doesn't roll over, the game gets closer and closer, the game goes longer, and the Counter-Strike almost like it just becomes a brawl. I don't know like how it turns into this every time Imperial plays a game, but it just turns into like almost like a different game when I watch Imperial play. So I think they're gonna have a huge crowd buff. I think that these guys are they might end up getting grouped. They might not make it far at all, but I think that every game that they play is just going to be a grind. And when those grindy games happen, Imperial has real potential to upset teams. They prove me wrong every time, so I'm just going to eat my own fucking words and just throw them into upset. Let's see. MOUZ. Fuck. I hate this team too. MOUZ, in terms of how they look and like how much their form varies, reminds me of FURIA. It's so annoying. Dude, there are days where MOUZ shows up and you're like, damn, who's this Torzy guy, bro? You're like, what the fuck? You're like, JDC's he's entering like Matt, and then the next day you're like, wow, Academy team, bro, what the fuck? It's so annoying. They're ranked really highly right now, but I think like they're an upset of grouped worlds. I'm gonna put grouped because I think they lack the experience. I think the fact that Frozen is the most experienced player on their roster is a good thing for MOUZ's future. It's a good thing for their future. But for right now, it's definitely not a good thing. I think they lack a lot of experience. There's no way to get more experience. It's just going to take time. They're not bad. I just think that, especially when the crowd will be there and it's for the major, I think it's going to hurt them a little bit. We'll see though. We will see. Dexter counts for experience, and Dexter has experience, but Frozen is the most experienced person. And the major just has something different about it, man. No matter how much the money is for the tournament, no matter what's going on, the major is a cut above. I think viewers feel that. I think the players feel that. I think everybody just kind of, no matter what it is, it's just something more. And if you haven't experienced that a lot yet, and I think that's gonna be tough. Where's G2? Nobody tell him, guys. Nobody tell him. NIP, they look so good for just adding Alexi B, but I feel like I'm getting debated really hard. It doesn't make sense. They should not be that good. Historically speaking, when the rosters like NIP, a fully Swedish lineup, speaking lineup, they all start, this is confirmed, this isn't even debate, they are all calming and speaking in English for Alexi B. Every time that teams do this, it always backfires in the long run. Always. I don't, but it's like when? Like when is it? Are they really just gelling this well? Is it honeymoon? Hampus is the best rifler in Sweden, and you guys know I'm a Hampus simp. I fucking love that dude, man. That guy's a fucking Chad. I just don't know. Oh man, I don't know. I actually am fucking, I'm fucked up. I literally don't know where to put NIP. NIP, I think, is one of the few teams where I can see them making playoffs. I can see them upsetting people, and I can see them getting grouped in Legends. I'm just gonna put them in upset for now because I don't know where else to put them. I do not know where to put them. I'm just gonna leave them there, and I'm gonna tweak it afterwards. They're just gonna sit there for now. OG. Sorry, boys. Don't hate me. I think OG. Isn't it okay? I will say this. Is it not crazy that I think this is their first major, right? Yeah, that's a big deal. It's not necessarily the players that are on the roster's first major or something, but well, some of them it is, some of it isn't. But OG relies entirely way too much on Dexter, and their entire team's identity revolves around Dexter performing. Iku and Neo are good, but they have really, they're something I talk about a lot when I talk about players that are kind of on the come up, we'll say. Like, they're established, but they're, you know, for tier 1, they're still kind of getting more and more and more under their belt. Players like Fiku and Neo are just, their floor is really low. And what I mean by that is when they have great games, they have incredible games and they can compete with the best of them. But what makes a lot of pro players truly great is when they have bad games, they're not like missing. And I think Fiku and Neo, one more than the other, you know, but still they both do it where they just have really rough games. And that's just gonna take, that's one of those experience things. That's just one of those consistency things where you really just have to elevate that. But it leaves OG vulnerable, and it leaves OG in a situation where Nexa has to have big games as the fragging IGL, and Dexter has to make crazy impact with the op, and Flames always has to go and find hard entries if Dexter, like, you know what I mean? It just really puts a lot of pressure on, I think, Dexter and Flames, I guess, the most. Outsiders. I think we should all just really hope that this happens, right? Because if we don't, the major might take an extra week. I think we all just hope that this happens. All right, let's stop trolling. I think they're here. I think they're here. I think they're in the upset category. I think they're dangerous. I think the way that they play, you know, in a different way, chat, they grind you down. They grind you down, but a different way, because James has an op every single round because he saved it the entire game, and he kills one of your teammates every single fucking round, and you're sick of it, man. And you're fucking sick of it, man. somehow James had an op on second round and he saved the same one till round fucking like 13, and you're wondering what the fuck is going on. And it's so like the way they play, and spectators hate it and I meme about it. And don't get me wrong, on certain maps I definitely don't enjoy watching it. Like, it's just, if you're spectating, if you're not super diehard loving the min-maxing that James is doing and that Outsiders is doing, you're not gonna enjoy it. You're just not. You want to see the games get sloppy and messy, and Outsiders is like the complete opposite. I almost actually feel like Outsiders is close to being playoffs, but something in majors with them, and they play such close games, they play such long games being paid by the round. But something about the major I felt when I watched them play is I do think that nerves play a part with them sometimes. I get it, and this is just purely feel. When I watch Outsiders, I think when they get deeper into tournaments, I do think there's a bit of nervousness. I do think that I don't know, like they get flustered. It's weird. They seem so calm and so calculated and cold most of the time. But when I see them at majors at different, like the last one, and just seeing them like go deeper into groups or like into playoffs or getting close to playoffs, I just feel like I see something where they just look not as calculated. They just look a little flustered. You know, we talk about like the NIP magic. Spirit is like they have their own magic at the majors. It feels, I don't know. They're in Legends, right? I think they're in Legends. So Team Spirit's in Legends. Oh, you know what we should do? We should just have Challengers grouped and Legends grouped. That'll make this a lot easier. Spirit at majors though is fucking, dude, they're good, man. Okay, scratch that list then. Hey, yo, chill, dude. How do I think I can just add in a row, right? Hold on. I can just add in a row. And then here, I'll move it down. And then we'll do this. Wait, hey, down, down. And then, see, cause I feel like having this, right? Like maybe here. Wow, no, I actually like them there. Fuck, maybe this is overcomplicating it. But fuck. And then we do this. I did not. I am gonna put, I will literally just go through Sprout quick. I didn't watch him play. I missed I was watching a lot of CS. There was a lot of CS happening. I didn't watch them play at all, so I have no fucking clue. I have no clue how they're looking. I mean, clearly they made it to Legends, but I have no idea what their level is, and my first instinct would just be that they don't make it to playoffs, just off of experience and the fact that I think leading into most tournaments and what I've seen previously, I wouldn't think that they go through. So GamerLegion here, they just, that is a team that I did watch. That is a team that I think, seeing how they qualified for the major, I think they deserve this amount of respect, which is, assuming that they're just going to get grouped, I think is dangerous. Seeing what Legion was able to like accomplish was like pretty impressive. But then again, fuck, dude, it was off Acor having like the tournament of his career. What if I like put this like this? Wait. It's really just dependent on Acor, man. Like, that man had a tournament. That Acor looks so good when dinosaurs roam the earth at Flashpoint. When you guys many of you guys didn't watch any of those games, and that's okay. I watched all of them, by the way. I was co-streaming all of it. Acor looked like the second coming of Jesus. Okay. He did. He literally looked like an unstoppable force that I had never seen. And then he looked like absolute poo when he was he literally looked like absolute fucking doo-doo. I don't know, after he left Mad Lions, and I think it was on MOUZ, right? And then now he's like on this new roster and he looks insane, dude. If you watch those games, that man, it was like watching Zywoo. The guy was not caught off guard by fuck all. He was reading the game perfectly. He was not surprised by anything, and he just had an insane tournament. I don't know if that's what I should expect of him. I've been burned by this man before, chat. I have had hopes that I've spoken highly of Acore before and been completely let down. I think having them an upset is good. I think there's a high likelihood that they just get grouped, nothing happens, all good, but I could see them maybe pissing some people off. I know we lack one more team in playoffs. I'm gonna make some final adjustments. I think Big just does not look strong at the moment. Some people are joking and saying put them in happy to be here, but I think Big just, they're in that form right now where it's basically just taps and drop 30 or yeah, I think that's where I throw Big. I respect Tabson way too much to put him in happy to be here. I can't do it, shit. I know I need one more team for playoffs. I don't know. I'm thinking, chat. Do I dare? Like, am I that? Is Swedish CS back? Do they just need a Finnish guy to tell them what to do? Is that... Was that the secret all along? I really think this is more realistic for them. I think this is more realistic. I think they have great upset potential, but I also can't. I think thinking about it logically, I just don't. That 8-core performance, I think, was more of an outlier. Even if he has a really good tournament, I don't think he has it to the same extreme. Boop, boop, boop. You have 9 teams going out first group. Okay. They're all going out, dude. Like I said, it's not perfect, guys. It's not perfect. Not perfect. I think this is pretty damn close, though, to how I feel about the tournament. 00 Nation and the happy to be here. Feels toxic to put them there. But I think that they rely on... They just rely too much on Demau and Lotto to really push them through. Cold Zero finally, though. Maybe I'll move him up. Ah, dude, I'm so tempted now. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, ooh. Cold Zero did show up, though. Cold Zero finally showed up. Like, he did. Cold Zero really has actually been a liability for that team. Try, Lotto, and Demau have been banging. Taco's IGL, and Taco's never been a player where we're expecting to put up numbers, but it's fucking Cold Zero, bro. I'm gonna slide them here. I did it. I'm just gonna put them in group because, yeah, I don't think they're bad. I think saying happy to be here is a bit extreme. All right, well, I somehow made a tier list take over an hour. Honestly, I should do this more often. This is incredible content. Did you guys have fun with it? Did you guys like it? I don't know. My editors are gonna have a rough one trying to put this one together. I actually, because I enjoy like the thought exercise of this. Like, it's fun. It's not a perfect list. No tier list is. I'm sure I'll be wrong. Doing predictions or anything like this, you always get screwed. But it's fun to always go back and, like, even if you have sound logic and like where you're coming from, when somebody's wrong, it's fun to just come back and laugh at them and call them dumb. So that's what makes this fun. You don't need a tier list for us to make fun of you, dude.